I was just watering in the greenhouse along with mom and dad. We were all kind of doing our own thing in there. Now we have Frank down in the high tunnel here. And what he's doing is we first had to string out a string line so we knew exactly where our row is going to be. I started marking them out. The lower one's the row, upper one's water. And then he's also got the tape measure strung out here because we want to go through every 2 foot and make a hole, because that's exactly where our tomatoes are going to be planted. And then once our tomatoes are planted, which should hopefully be in the next day or two, we're going to come in with our stakes, and we'll start off with our first one here, and then every 2. So we'll have a stake here, and then a stake here, and then so on and so forth. So I'll take you down here now and show you how Frank's doing it. We used to take a knife and just poke down through, but we ended up several times cutting the drip line, and I got tired of that, so we got this little rotary tool with the grinder head on it, and really simple. You can just go in and cut a hole and then move on to the next one. It takes about 15 seconds. And then just like that, he's ready to go. And right now it's really muddy because we just had all that rain and snow, and you can see there's still some sitting on the outside, and then it kind of seeps into the high tunnel here, these first, like, I don't know, 6 feet. So it's kind of good. We're not really quite ready to plant. You could even stretch that string line a little tighter, Frank, just because I like it to be so tight that, you know, when you go to move it, the string just bounces right back to where it needs to be in the center. Tighter. Can you go? Yep, keep going. Just pull it, keep pulling it. That seems better. And then you can also look down, like you can see the gap between this yellow line and the orange line. And that looks really even, so that should be okay right there. Okay, so Frank's done cutting the holes now. It might be a little bit hard to see, but that's what it looks like right there. Everything needs to be kind of in as straight of lines as we can possibly make it, because after we get our tomatoes in the ground, then we have to stake them, and then if our stakes aren't straight, everything won't be correct. I mean, we'll have strings going this way and that way and this way. So as best we can, we try and make everything perfectly straight, and then it just makes it so much simpler when we're tying them and putting in stakes, and it just makes the whole process so much better. So then now Frank's down here at the lower high tunnel, cutting holes in there as well. The greenhouses are ready to go. Frank's got the holes. He started to plant now, and so far he's got 3, or actually almost 4 rows out of the 6 rows done, and they look really nice. He's planting them perfect. Basically, we just want to make sure that root ball is covered and packed in just slightly. And you can kind of see how these first ones are starting to lay over a little bit, and that's just because it's kind of called like transplant shock. They're used to being in that nice warm greenhouse, in that nice little cell. Now they're kind of in the cooler dirt, and there's a little bit of wind in here hitting them. So they're gonna lay down a little bit, but hopefully within the next day or 2, they'll be back up and looking beautiful. All right, so Frank's here now, and Daisy, making a nice hole. And in some spots, the dirt's a little bit more dry, so the dirt doesn't pack as nice. And then after he makes his hole, gets the plant set in there, he'll pack the dirt around a little bit. He won't compress it real hard, just pack it in nice so the tomatoes sit straight up. And then that's done, just like that. You don't want to go too high on the tomato plant. Usually there's 2 bottom leaves right there on the tomato plant, and you don't want to go any more than them, because then you're just going too high and the tomato could possibly not grow right. But the way Frank's doing it here looks absolutely perfect, and hopefully in a couple months we'll be picking some big, huge tomatoes off these.
I'll be a happier day.
Yeah.
What do you think, Daisy? Be careful.
Okay, so while Frank is planting, I'm up here in the greenhouse getting ready to fertilize those plants right after we put them in. So I got my starter fertilizer, and then I got my Prophyte. Gonna get a ratio mixed up for that, and then I'll show you how I go down there and I water each plant with kind of about the same amount of water so that I can do an even ration throughout the whole greenhouse.
I wonder how they do sometimes. Some of it's got to be animated or something. Sometimes you wonder half the time if it is real or not. You know?
Yeah.
You got so much technology in doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely be a proud feeling once you're done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Accomplishment. Definitely.
So as you've seen, Frank got finished planting all the tomatoes. He did a really, really nice job. Then I went back through after he was done with my fertilizer water and fertilized them all in. So now basically they're ready and they can start growing. Hopefully we can start getting some warmer temperatures. And then after they grow a couple more inches, we'll get these staked and we'll start stringing them up. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.